Right, we're good. We are back. Episode 18, Boston's Big Three. I'm the only original member left. GRD. I don't even know where GRD is at this point. Babs in Philly on his way back. Busy man, can't make the show. I get it. No, I get where his responsibilities are at. It's either go to Philly, watch the Celtics lose, or hop on Boston's Big Three. But instead, we have myself, we have Brandon. We actually have our video editor, Joe Stafford, making his debut.
Can't
What's
wait.
up, man? How are we?
I'm good, dude. I can't wait to start the show.
But like always, we are sponsored by 1 in 100. 1 in 100. 1 in 100 is the only online raffle website giving fans, experience seekers the chance to win tickets to live sporting events, concerts, music festivals, and more. We had a deal for the Cleveland Browns game. I'm not sure if it's over. I don't really work closely with 1 in 100. Babs does. That's a good question for Babs. I don't know where he is. But check 1 in 100 website. If you missed the Cleveland Brown raffle for this weekend's game, there's going to be way more. Not even for Pats, for Celtics, for Bruins, for concerts, for Sox season when it comes back. RIP Sox. Whether it be from your desktop or mobile device, winning tickets to your favorite event has never been so easy and fun. Choose your desired event, purchase a raffle ticket, into the draw, and you could be the lucky winner. So, Celtics played last night. We're going to talk about them a lot, but we have to go through our picks. Once again, Babs on the show, but he texted us our picks in probably the worst format possible. So, Babs, I'm assuming you're going to be watching this. I'm hoping you're watching this. That was just the worst way to
we
ever
got
send
a toast
picks. You could have just texted it to us, but instead he went with a Snapchat sticker version. I don't even know what it was. But let me pull up the games. Brandon, you want to talk about the results from last week?
Yeah, so last week, surprise, for the first time ever on the show for picking NFL games, Tyler won the week. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Babs, we need you to come back so this doesn't happen anymore. But so Tyler was the only one to pick the Rams beating the Falcons. But I think me and Babs are just dumb for not picking the Rams in this game. Also, Tyler chose the Saints over the Bears, which who would have thought? Teddy Bridgewater, unreal, filling in for Drew Brees, still undefeated, filling in for the Saints Hall of Fame quarterback, and he has filled in beautifully. Babs was the only one to take the Cowboys beating the Eagles. Me and Tyler both picked the Eagles. Babs picked the Chargers beating the Titans. Titans won in a crapshoot of a game. Babs also chose the Colts, the only one of us to choose the Colts beating the Texans, and what we thought would have been
game. That was
a great game.
Big game.
And then Babs took the Raiders again. I don't think we need to run this back and check if he's chosen anyone that the Raiders are playing against, because I'm pretty confident he's picked the Raiders every single week. And then
he picked them to win the AFC West beginning of the season.
Yeah, he did. And then your boy picked the Cardinals beating the Giants down in Daniel Jones and Kyler Murray, showing that he was rightfully the number one overall pick versus the first few quarterbacks off the board. So let's get into this week. I think for Thursday night football, we've got tonight actually Redskins and the Vikings in Minnesota. The 1-6 Redskins taking on Kirk Cousins, the 5-13 career record in primetime games. So we'll see how that goes.
And because of that, I'm taking the Redskins. I will never bet with Kirk Cousins. I hate Kirk Cousins.
Way.
Kirk Cousins. Are you actually taking the Redskins?
Yeah, take the Redskins. Why not? You guys stay hot. Wait, what was my record? What was my record last week?
All right.
No, that's question. I'll stun on it after I hear it.
But what Babs take?
Oh yeah, let me go to his. Babs again. You're making this just difficult.
While you check that,
instead of just texting me, you can't really see it. Yeah, these are all Snapchats.
Oh my God,
there had to be better ways.
I'll definitely take Kirk Cousins in this game. I think it's a really, really important game for the Vikings, especially they have a 5-2 record. They're in contention for that NFC North's position to win that division. I think Kirk Cousins is going to go off again and see what happens. Even though with Adam Thielen down, Stephon Diggs has stepped up and filled in nicely. Really kind of put his head down, picked up where he left off last season, and really got to work amidst all the trade rumors. I think the Vikings beat a really lowly Redskins team.
Yeah, this is kind of a common sense game for me. I don't know what the hell Tyler's thinking about right now, but I'm taking the Vikings. I think Kirk Cousins really stepped it up the last couple of weeks and really took after Adam Thielen's comments and Stephon Diggs' comments regarding the offense. He's been on fire. The Redskins have not been on fire, obviously, after that Mud Bowl game last week against the 49ers. Vikings by a landslide.
I'm pretty sure the Redskins.
-17. That's nothing I wanted to see. Yeah, but like you need to pick against the grain if you want to get some.
No,
wins.
You're right.
So I'm either gonna hit big on all of these, or I'm just gonna tank.
Yeah, fade Tyler's picks again.
If you faded last week, that was a mistake.
What'd Babs say? Vikings?
He picked the Vikings, and good thing we have to hear why.
I'm pretty sure the Redskins only won one. Like, I'm pretty sure their only win came against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Might want to fact check me on that. But I'm pretty sure. That's not pretty.
All right. I can't even do this one. Seahawks, Falcons at Atlanta. I will never bet the Falcons once in my life. I was right with them last week that I shouldn't have picked them, and you morons picked the Falcons and gave me a dub. So I'm picking Seahawks. Russell Wilson all the way. He's just different.
Yeah, I'm taking Russell Wilson and the Seahawks here, traveling into a selling Falcons team that is dealing at the deadline, selling all their pieces mostly. Matt Ryan's still out with an ankle injury. It's really hard to bet against the Seahawks here.
Yep, definitely. I agree. It's kind of funny, too, is this is why stats are for losers. Matt Ryan's still leading the league in touchdown passes, and it's leading them absolutely nowhere. The Falcons this year have been an absolute train wreck. Russell Wilson's coming off a kind of a tough game against Baltimore, where Lamar Jackson really outplayed him, which is surprising to see, I think, for all of us. He comes back big against the Falcons this week.
I said it a few shows ago that Matt Ryan, he is borderline Hall of Fame. Like I was talking about his passing yards.
Oh, I don't know.
He's top 10 in passing yards all time.
He has an MVP under the belt. Look at
exactly. One Super Bowl loss. What Babs take?
Seattle. After that, we got. See, I can't even go back and forth with these picks because they're all out of order. Chargers at Bears. Chargers. I don't even know if they're good. Bears. Is Trubisky still out?
No, I'm pretty sure he played.
Did he play last week?
I'm not sure. That's a great question.
I'm just gonna pick Chargers. Whatever. I don't really have much thought going to these picks.
Yeah, Chargers are 4-point underdogs here. I'm going to take the Bears, even though they should have probably won the game against the Saints. Everyone expected them to go into that game at home and found a way to lose to Teddy Bridgewater and the powerful Saints. I think this is the game where the Bears pick up the pieces, put it back together, and find a way to get a W against the Los Angeles Chargers.
I think the Chargers are a better team than the Bears. I don't really think that's well, at least for me, I don't think it's really a question. I think they have a better sustained quarterback, obviously with Phillip Rivers. Their defense is playing solid, and they're just an overall good team in all three facets of the game. I think it's kind of a trap game for them going into Chicago, but I still think the Chargers get away with a win.
Babs picks the Bears. Good thing we have to hear why, because it feels like whenever Babs picks something, we just go at it for a solid 5 minutes. So that's a headache I don't need right now until next week because he's definitely watching this. And if he's not, then he's kicked off the show. I'm the producer. I call the shots. Giants, Lions at Detroit. Giants stink. Lions kind of stink, but they play good against good teams. Lions, I don't know. I'm going to go Lions.
Honestly, like at this point, Matty Stafford is so underrated. It's ridiculous. I think he's borderline top 10 quarterback, even though people continue to underrate him because he's always like, oh, Calvin Johnson was his binky and all this stuff for many years. But honestly, I think he's a good quarterback at the end of the day. Danny Dimes had a tough time against Arizona last week. He bounces back a little bit, but not enough to beat the Lions.
All right, so Brandon's computer just crashed.
Yeah.
So what we can do, we can keep ripping through this. Let's see what's wrong with his. He needs to restart. 10% complete. Nothing we want to see. Looks like me and you are running this.
All right, let's do it.
Peace. All right.
Who'd Babs take?
This is just a mess. I have to text them back. Where did Babs' text go? Pick Lions. All right, Bucks and Titans. We'll rip through this real quick. I'm taking Bucks over Titans. No, I bet the Bucks way too much. I'm taking Titans.
Yeah, I was about to say, no, the Buccaneers have an up and down season on right now. They beat the Rams 4 touchdowns with Jameis Winston, and now where are we now? The Buccaneers and Titans both drafted 1 and 2 back-to-back with Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota, and they're nowhere after doing that. I think it goes to show that
this is the biggest hype draft class like quarterbacks that I'm interested in nothing.
Yeah, it is absolutely nothing.
Each other back-to-back.
They were completely average the entire time in the league, and now Ryan Tannehill is playing quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to go with the Titans here. I actually think Vrabel's kind of doing a good job, especially with Tannehill coming in as opposed to Mariota. They've kind of shifted the offense a little bit to go back to what Tannehill's good at. Titans by a landslide, actually.
Babs picked the Bucks. We got Jets and Jags. Jets aren't good. Jags are decent. Picking the Jags.
Yeah, I don't really think there's a lot to talk about. I do want to say something for Sam Darnold, though. I know he played a horrific game on Monday night against the Patriots, but give the kid some credit. He stood in there. He kept playing. He didn't. He really didn't want to come out of the game. He made some bad choices, obviously, and it showed because he looked nervous. He looked flustered. His O-line was not giving him any help, and neither was the receivers. They're in full sell mode at the deadline, too. Rumors coming out that they want to trade Robbie Anderson, who's his only receiver, really, which is kind of a tough bid for a young kid going into what, his 30-something game in the NFL, which is kind of a tough thing to do, especially with such a bad coaching staff. Adam Gase is an absolute bum. Gardner Minshew gets another win and tries to solidify his case to stay after Nick Foles is back.
Baz picks the Jets. I'm assuming he's hoping for a bounce back week from Darnold or something like that. We got Panthers at 49ers. I think this is a game the 49ers lose. I think finally they stop going undefeated. Kyle Allen, pretty good quarterback. I'm picking Panthers.
They're taking calls on Cam Newton. At least 10 teams are interested in trading for Cam Newton. And honestly, from Carolina, why wouldn't you? I mean, outside of 2015, I don't really think Cam Newton's been a great quarterback. He's been an average quarterback. He's done enough to get a playoff spot a handful of years and doesn't have that many impressive playoff wins, excluding that 2015 season. Obviously, he was the best player in the field that season, and it really showed. I just want to say about the Niners here, I don't think their winning style is sustainable because their defense is carrying them the entire time. Jimmy G's shown nothing to show that he's a franchise quarterback more than a game manager, really. Their run game's really helping them out. But I'm still going to go with the Niners here. I don't really think Carolina has enough to get it done on the road.
Babs also picked Panthers. We got Raiders, Packers. Raiders, Texans.
I wonder who
in
Baz
Houston.
picked.
Yeah, Baz picks the Raiders because I don't know why. Like, I will never understand why he always hammers the Raiders. He did. Texans, they won last week or did they just
lost
lose?
last week?
Yeah, I was gonna say to the Colts.
4 touchdowns on them.
That's what I thought. I'm just gonna take the Texans. I don't think they lose back to back, especially to the Raiders.
I do want to give some credit to Derek Carr right now. He's leading the league in completion percentage, which is at least something for this team. I'm taking the Texans. Deshaun Watson's probably pissed that Jacoby Brissett lit him up and beat him straight up. So I'm taking the Texans here.
Packers, Chiefs. I believe that's Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are all out of order. So I don't know. If Mahomes is out, I'm taking Packers, but I don't think we know much about Mahomes yet. Either way,
he's questionable right now, but there's no way he's playing. It's definitely a smoke.
Yeah, and even if he does, he's playing hurt. Like,
it's a fractured kneecap. That's a tough injury to play with, especially his play style where he likes to scramble out of the pocket and make things happen. I'm taking the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is red hot. He is red hot.
Babs takes the Packers as well. Dolphins, Steelers. Dolphins aren't winning the games. I'm going Steelers. Oh, but Babs picks Miami. That's the only reason why I might call him right now, but I think he's either sleeping or working. So.
Yeah. I'm going with Pittsburgh here. I think Minkah Fitzpatrick has 2 interceptions on the day. That's my bold prediction. He's played well in the scheme. I think the Steelers were really happy with the return they got for a first-round pick. Brian Flores is all over the place this season, going from Fitzpatrick to Rosen back to Fitzpatrick. With a team this bad, I don't understand why you wouldn't start Rosen now to see what you got for a first-round pick, but I don't know. It's not my team. Doesn't really matter. Steelers.
Now we can talk about this game a little bit. Obviously, Pats, Browns. We'll wrap up with this. Baker Mayfield, OBJ, Jarvis Landry are all coming to New England and take another L. They're always talking reckless already, saying we're going to get a win no matter what. It's going to be a win, a win, a win. I think Jarvis Landry had a quote or something like that.
Yeah, I think
OBJ came out with all the either way, the media will run with it. It just OBJ came out, was talking about him and Belichick talking. Baker Mayfield actually kind of been kind of quiet. I was not expecting that because the Pats multiple times said they were trying to trade up to number 1, grab him. So who knows?
2 for the Giants.
Yeah. Like who knows what even's going to happen here? I don't think it's going to be a close game. We lose Josh Gordon. We talk about that real quick. Josh Gordon out for a year. IR mystery. Who knows? Doesn't look like he's coming back to the Pats.
Mike Reese said he's going to be put on the IR, then released afterwards, so he can sign with a different team.
See, I bet Belichick's about to find a loophole in this or something. He's like, oh, we didn't officially waive him. He's just on the IR, not taking a Ross's spot or something. I don't know. I expect Josh Gordon to be back with the Pats, to be honest, but who knows? Probably not.
The thing, I really want him to be because I'm a huge Josh Gordon guy. But at the end of the day, N'Keal Harry's coming back off the IR in, 2 weeks? They're similar body types. He's probably in the same role as Josh Gordon was. And And Josh Gordon's tenure as a Patriot ends pretty unspectacularly. He had just over 1,000 yards during his career here, 4 touchdowns on 60 receptions. That's 16.8 yards per reception, and that's what he did his whole career, even in Cleveland when he wasn't enjoying that crazy season. He was just good for those long slant routes and those fly routes. And he was injured here a lot. He wasn't really ever the focal point of the offense, and when he was, it wasn't productive. They forced him the ball too much, and he wasn't getting open. And it's sad to see because I love Josh Gordon. I think he's one of the most underrated and most talented players maybe in the last decade.
With Gordon out, you got Sanu in. Mohamed Sanu gets traded. What did we trade for him? Like just
a second round pick.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Honestly, our track record with second round picks, it's worth it.
Yeah,
we stink in the second round. We're terrible. We can't pick anybody.
Punt it because normally we don't have them. Yeah, we get Sanu. He's a big body receiver. Talked reckless during the Super Bowl. If you've ever seen those sound effects and all that, so it'd be kind of funny to see him come to New England after the whole 28-3 thing that happened. He could throw the ball a mile too.
You
already know that you're going to see an Edelman, Sanu, Brady connection double screen.
No, I want to do the wildcat. I want Sanu in the backfield as the quarterback in the shotgun with Edelman next to him. Read option pass. That's never been seen before. I want to see that happen on the field. I think McDaniels is the one to do it.
Yeah, why not? They're just bored throwing with Brady. Like, might as well try it. You're already going to the Super Bowl.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Anything else NFL news you want to touch on before we hop over the NBA?
Just before the show started, Michael Bennett was traded to the Dallas Cowboys for a 7th round draft pick. Yeah, for a 7th round draft pick. He did nothing here. I think it's more of just trying to get a salary dump and try to free up some cap space for maybe potentially another trade before the deadline comes around.
I don't remember him doing anything.
No, he played, but he just wasn't productive. He was always in and out.
Exactly. Like, I had no idea he was on the field.
Yeah, he was in and out of the lineup, and he was never the focal point like he was in Seattle. So it just didn't work out. Worked out with his brother, but not him. We're just going to move on.
He was also old, too.
Yeah, he just wasn't fit for New England, so it's all right.
All right, so I have to face the music now. Like I said, I go to school in Pennsylvania. That means my roommates are all Philadelphia Sixers fans. And the Sixers-Celtics game last night was something that I'm going to be hearing for weeks, maybe until we face them next time. Wasn't good. Wasn't bad, but it wasn't good.
Was not good.
Brand new Celtics team, basically. I mean, your whole bench is minus Marcus Smart. Never played meaningful minutes in the NBA.
No.
Kemba Walker doesn't do great. 4 for 18. Jason Tatum shoots 21 shots, shoots 22 shots, scores 21 points. Gordon Hayward, the only good thing about the game, I think he shot the ball 18 times or something.
25 points.
25 points, and 9 of them are free throws. He's the only Celtic that hit free throws.
Literally, we were 58% from the free throw line last night. What's going on? Like, I understand.
I have zero clue. I took notes on the game because I want to talk about it. But yeah, if I was Brad Stevens, I would just lock everybody in a gym until they hit 1,000.
Literally, that's an absolute travesty. Also, one funny thing before we move on: Taco Fall enters the concussion protocol.
Because he hit his head
on a ceiling.
See, like, I'm a tall person myself. Like, I've hit my head on many things in my life. I've never got a concussion. Throw his head up like he was at a concert or something.
So
the Celtics, they shoot 20 for 34 from the free throw line. In the game, they lose by 14 points. They miss 14 free throws. I'm not saying you're going to go 34 for 34 every single night. You're not going to. Also, with the fouls, that was way too much. That game is way too long. It was 29 fouls, 33 fouls. That is absurd. Nobody wants to. Like, nobody cares. Yeah. Like, you got to get away with anything. I mean, it's game 1 of the season for the refs, too. Give them that. Celtics just couldn't even shoot. 36 from the field, 26.9 from 3, 58 from the free throw line, and 10 total turnovers. Like we said, Tatum had 21 and 10, double-double. Hayward, 25 and 5 rebounds. Walker, 12 points on 18 shots.
4 of 18.
And Cantor with 12 points, 6 boards, 3 of them offensive, 3 of them defensive.
He got hurt.
Went 2 for 7 from the free throw line after a flagrant on Embiid. He goes 0 for 2. Momentum swinger, just gone to the dust. Missing free throws early. Like, they were 10 for 20 with a minute 50 left in the third. And that was in the third. They kept counting it close. I kept saying, get it to 5 before the fourth. So I was just watching for 5. It was in 4, within 3. And then Philly, they miss all these free throws. Philly goes on a run, and we go down by 9 going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
The only time we were trailing this game was at halftime. 49-48. We never saw a lead after that. We never even tied the game after that. It was a good test early. I mean, this is a brand new team. You have no chemistry minus a little bit of preseason when mostly bench players play. Yeah. Or if you play, who cares? And then you face a NBA title very likely team.
A contending team.
Yeah.
Who just got Al Horford, who knows their entire scheme.
Oh, I knew that game was toast as soon as I saw they showed him ringing the bell. I'm
that was bad.
But toast.
That kind of hurt a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I thought
I switched the channel for 5 seconds, and my roommate sits back. I'm like, I can't see it. But what I like from Hayward right out of the gate.
Yeah, I think you muted yourself, dude.
All right, this shows a whole technical mess, but we live and learn. Yeah, like I was saying, Hayward attacking early and often. He was jumping. He's not afraid to go up against the guy like he was last season.
Well, the aggressiveness back.
Oh!
Hello, who is this?
There he
is.
So his computer dies. He thinks he can just come strolling back in.
I've been here the entire time. I don't know what you've been talking about.
All right, so we're talking Celtics Sixers right now.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so the thing that disappointed me the most, Carson Edwards, 3 points, 11 minutes.
He had 3 points?
He had 3 points in 11 minutes.
I didn't even think he scored. I remember him chucking up a horrendous corner 3 air ball, and then another one that went to a canter for when you airball. I was like, good pass. Because it was exactly what that happened. It was cancer got the rebound, threw back up. I will say, Cantor did exactly what we signed him for yesterday. I only liked how he played, how Robert Williams played, and Hayward played. That was it. Everyone else, I mean, Tatum, yeah, you go attack the rim, that's fine. You just got to hit shots. I'm not going to hold people against missing shots in game 1 when all of NBA Twitter, all Celtics Twitter, all these fire Danny Ainge, get Kemba Walker out of here, Jaylen Brown wasn't worth it. Those people that I hate, people I just want to punt a mile, they stink out loud. But anyway, those are the people that are calling for the torches and pitchforks going already into Ainge's office. I'm like, relax. You're facing an NBA title contender with a brand new team on game 1.
I'm not worried at all.
And Marcus Smart is back to 2015 form, shooting up bricks for threes instead of splashing everything.
Yeah, but he drew 5 offensive fouls.
He did, yeah.
Marcus Smart's the man. He should be the captain of this team already. I wish they named him a captain already.
The longest tenured Celtic, which is wild to say because when we drafted him, I'm like, what?
Yeah. And then Brad Wanamaker, the oldest of age Celtic.
He is?
Yeah, he is.
He had such a good run in EuroLeague. I used to watch him on YouTube, and then the Celtics got him. I'm like, what? We got the guy who watched on YouTube. Yeah, wow, he is old. Carson Edwards, like I said, he's the first rookie off the bench. Doesn't really do much. Grant Williams started out the second quarter. Also didn't do much. He had 0 for 1 and a rebound, and I think 7 minutes of play. Robert Williams was the only Celtic that was had a positive plus minus. He was a +7. He had that block in Simmons, a lot of rebounds. However, he did have 4 turnovers. Can't have that.
No, you can't. But Robert Williams is a good player. He's going to be a good player for a long time. The agility he has for his size is just unprecedented. You don't really see it a lot. It reminds me a lot of a young DeMarcus Cousins, especially when he goes to dunk and when he goes to shot block. It's kind of crazy how he moves his body at that kind of a size.
It's either Brandon crashed again or he's doing the single greatest staring contest I've ever in my life. No, when I was thinking, I mentioned this last week when Kev was on. When everyone was saying trade for Capella, sign Capella, the number 1 priority is Capella. Robert Williams Jr. is Capella Jr. He's like Capella.
Yeah.
They each, both of their jobs, granted Capella's better at it, is to jump, block shots, get rebounds, and catch alley-oops. Yep, I'd rather pay a rookie contract for that than overpay for Capella. But Cantor, like I was saying, did his job perfectly. He had Kemba driving, dished it off to him as soon as Embiid comes for help. 2 points right there. Offensive rebounds, 2 points right there. The whole thing. Jaylen Brown, however, I am the biggest Jaylen Brown stan walking this earth right now. And tough debut to the season, especially after
after that contract, you can't do that.
You get 4 fouls and 9 minutes left in the second. And then he picks up his 5th with 11:07 left in the third. Yeah. I mean, you just didn't even play. Getting early foul trouble messes up everything.
I like Jaylen Brown, but you know what he is. I really don't think he was worth the contract. I like having him on the team. I really do. But I think it was a little expensive. Jaylen Brown's a good player.
I think we're betting on potential, though.
Yeah, but I think I already know who he is. I don't really think he's going to transform his play into something else. I think I like he's a good two-way player, not a great two-way player. He's a good two-way player. And Danny's kind of spending the cap like he has free range when he doesn't, because we got Tatum coming up this offseason.
Yeah, but we also have nobody. There's nobody in free agency the past 2 years. Like Marcus Smart, this is a perfect example of this. He had the worst free agency year of all time. That was the summer after all those first mega contracts came about, when the cap rose, when everyone was just getting crazy amount of money.
Yeah.
Everybody was either re-signed, had a plan to go somewhere, or there was just not a lot of free agents. So Marcus Smart got signed on the cheap, had his best year in his career. Jalen, on the other hand, not a lot of big name free agents next year. That was this summer.
Right.
You're gonna lock him up. You're gonna have to pay, and if we're gonna bet on his potential and you want to keep him on this team, you're gonna have to give him a little bit of money.
The thing is that we drafted Romeo for a reason.
But the cap space is gonna bump up again in 2 years. So we're gonna be paying him like we're gonna be basically paying him like 20-something million a year, which will be about, I don't know, like 15. It's gonna be a steal contract in a couple of years once the cap rises once again. So I'm fine with paying him that. Also, out of all the Celtics, you can go back on all the tapes or whatever. He's the only one that consistently shows up when it comes to the playoff time. He is like the first since Larry Bird to go back-to-back 30 points.
Are you kidding? Marcus Smart?
Yeah, this year. I'm talking about ever since he's been a Celtic. Marcus Smart before this year stunk in the playoffs, offensively at least.
Oh, offensively he's never been good anyway. I'm talking about defensively. He wins games for you, and Jaylen Brown doesn't really.
Jaylen Brown scores and he plays defense in the playoffs. People already have. I'm not here to sway anyone's opinion on Jaylen Brown. He's someone that you either love or you hate him. I love him because he's a reliable.
No, I like Jaylen Brown too. I do.
Player when it comes playoff time, and in regular season, he still gets up shots. He still has no fear going to anything. He has the worst ball handling I've ever seen in my entire life, so I'm not even going to speak on that. But he's just a consistently, like you said, you know what he is, but I don't think that's a bad thing. You know what kind of productivity you're going to get every single time.
That's true.
You have to pay if you want him because someone's going to give him an insane amount of money. He is a valuable cornerstone to this core that's going to be hopefully Tatum, Walker, Brown, and Smart. I don't know. I think it was a good move, good signing. I didn't want to give him a max. I did want to give him this type of deal, maybe 4 years, a little less money, which I'm happy with. But I don't know.
Every time I think Jaylen Brown playoffs, I think of that terrible three-pointer he put up against the Cavs. Remember when we were down by like 4, and he came over and like stumbled on his knee, and then he just took a three for no reason.
Yeah, that was about 2018, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Jaylen. I think it was a good signing. Like third time's a charm. Let's see if this works.
I'm on my damn phone now. If this don't work, I'm wrong.
I'm dead.
All right, so we're talking about Jaylen Brown. Brandon, what are your thoughts on him real quick?
Jaylen Brown. I think I'm on your side with this, Tyler. I don't know if you've said it already, but I'm definitely on board with him getting the securing the bag, getting the deal. I do think it is going to be problematic down the line, however, when it does come time to pay Jason Tatum, because he's going to need a lot more money than what Jaylen Brown got in this deal. I think it is good for the Celtics in the short term. Long term, I'm not sure how positive it can be for them.
Well, we were just talking about in 2 years, the cap space is going to be going up.
Mm-hmm.
Like no matter what, this is just going to happen. Also, if we Tatum's going to get that money.
Yeah.
And Jaylen Brown's contract is going to be like we're paying a minimum wage. Simple as that.
Okay. That's fair.
And there's no big name free agents this offseason. Someone would spend crazy amount of money. I believe he's actually a valuable cornerstone. But Jaylen Brown's contract also identically matches, if you throw in a couple picks, Karl-Anthony Towns' contract, Bradley Beal's contract. So you could sign him and trade him, which I wouldn't put past.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's not in the same class of players as Karl-Anthony Towns is, or Bradley Beal.
Yeah, but if you pair,
it'd be expensive.
Okay, but if you pair, do you know how many picks Danny Ainge has in his back pocket?
Yeah,
they're overflowing. Like they're falling out of his back pocket. Minnesota's not going to do anything with Towns. If Towns stays in Minnesota, his career is done. Like it's wasted. Towns, he's eventually. I don't know what Towns. Towns is my favorite non-Celtic too. So maybe we want to talk about him. I have his jersey in my closet.
Oh my god.
You're never gonna build anything in Minnesota. There's rumors that after this season, D'Lo's gonna go there. Probably not gonna happen. I bet he's gonna go back to Golden State. Because Golden State, they do it the right way. They pay you nothing, and they take a third of your contract. If your name's not Steph Curry, they pay you nothing.
Oh, yeah.
They take a third of your contract and they invest into like all this tech stuff in West Coast, and your contract is tripled in a year. Like Boogie Cousins, he had a $5 million contract. He left Golden State $22 million richer because of all the investments.
That's crazy.
So that's why I think D'Lo, and you're playing with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson next year.
Yeah.
Who knows what's gonna happen? You have the best backcourt in the league if that's the case.
That's true.
But you have guys to trade for, maybe Bradley Beal, Jaylen Brown, package another guy, a ton of picks. Bradley Beal wouldn't do that. I'd do it for Karl-Anthony Towns, but who knows what's gonna happen? I think Jaylen was signed to stay, because if they didn't want to sign him, they would have traded him this year without even giving him any money. And if they would sign him, then trade him right away. I like Brown, like I've been harping on. But what else we got real quick?
Lakers and Clippers. That was a great game.
Just
prime
one
time.
more thing Celtics I want to do real quick was everyone played except Vincent Poirier, the French center that we got.
He's not ready yet.
I don't think he's ready. I just think, why not throw him in there? He's 7'1", not a ground and pound guy. He's built. If you follow his Instagram, he has like Versace. He's very how he looks, not how he plays. But he's saying all the right things in the media. I wanted to give him a shot. Stevens never put him in. Maybe we'll see him against Toronto tomorrow. They have a huge front court.
I definitely think we'll see him at some point.
Oh yeah, Cantor's out with the
Cantor's out.
Contusion. That injury did look like it could have ended up a lot worse than it actually ended up.
Yeah, someone fell into his knee on a charge. Smart.
Yeah. He was running and just a guy falling.
Because someone took a charge. I think Smart fell into his knee or something. I liked how Cantor though, love or hate him. Before he signed with the Celtics, were you Cantor fans or no?
Cantor was one of those NBA players where I kind of pushed to the side. Like I knew he had all this off the court stuff, dealing with his family in Turkey.
Anyone who is the enemy of Turkey is an friend
absolutely.
Yeah, he never backs down against guys like LeBron, Embiid, these huge name guys. And you see him and Embiid going at it the whole night. He gets a finger on Embiid.
That's what we need down the line to guard guys like Giannis and LeBron that we're going to eventually run into.
Yeah, I mean, Cantor stick the defense. Don't tell me.
Put him in the side.
No, do you know who is going to do that? So last year, I forget the exact stat. Giannis shot, I think it was 70% against X amount of players. Huge names. He shot 21% against Semi Ojeleye the whole year. LeBron.
Semi Ojeleye is that dude. He's that good. Dude.
And I want him to be good more than anyone on this entire team. I want Semi Ojeleye to have the biggest jump. I don't think he's going to come back to the Celtics. Maybe on the cheap. Who knows? But he's built like a WWE action figure.
He's massive. It's kind of crazy.
But I'm pro Enes Kanter now, especially when that news came out that him and Kemba were both coming to Boston. As you do, follow him on Instagram. I see what Kanter's doing off the court, especially with those free basketball camps that he was offering all across the country for kids. I think that was a really cool thing to really show who he is and what he's all about, especially on his way to the biggest sports city in the country.
I was following him. Gets here, request Kyrie's number. I was
about to say no. That's why I was following him. He was clowning Kyrie the whole offseason. It was literally the funniest thing of all time. And then the Turkish thing comes out where he's an enemy of the state or whatever. That thing made him kind of a clown, kind of like an enigma. But he's a good player. He's a good offensive player.
That Turkish stuff came out when he was on the Thunder. That's why the Thunder got rid of him. Preston didn't want anything. Preston didn't want to do it.
Play a game in London that he didn't travel with them?
Yeah, no, that was
assassins.
Yeah,
he was at.
I mean, what would you do?
He was in OKC.
I want to travel.
He was in OKC and he went to New York. And when he was in New York, they were going to London. And then he's like, I am not going to London. Which makes sense. Why not? Just say, LeBron takes rest days. All of these guys take rest days. Oh, it's a rest day, resting from assassination. All right. Other news around the league, we saw LA versus LA, Kawhi versus LeBron. Charles Barkley officially believes that Kawhi is better than LeBron, and I am on his side.
The thing is, last night it gets head-to-head. He did kind of prove he's better than LeBron. At least stat-wise, but even in terms of just controlling the game, Kawhi had a better control in the game than LeBron did. I think it was clear from the get-go. Well, Kawhi didn't have PG.
LeBron's better at than Kawhi, I believe. I think there's only one thing, and I think it's passing. Defense, Kawhi. Scoring, Kawhi. Playmaking, Kawhi. Playmaking, you can go heads up. But the major facets of the game, and like you just said, the control of the game, I'm picking Kawhi over LeBron 11 times out of 10. Also, I hate LeBron James with every 100 pounds in my body frame.
No, you know who built last night? Danny Green. Danny Green had 28 points. He led the Lakers.
He was scared. That was the stupidest trade of all time. The Raptors and Spurs. He was like, "Here, you can take Kawhi and maybe our best shooter." And then we'll get DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan, I would never pay any contract to.
My buddy was texting me the other day. He's like, "Oh, it's gonna be Jaylen Brown for DeMar DeRozan in a straight out trade." I'm like, "You're nuts, dude. Why would anybody do that?"
They're very similar. I don't know. I mean, I would never take DeRozan on, but Anthony Davis, he also comes in with LeBron's LA debut, not debut. I mean, I don't know what his exact stats were, but
25, 5, and 10.
Yeah, that's why he signed Anthony Davis. He also had that like cornerback.
Oh yeah.
Save, whatever that was. I was watching that live. I'm like, whoa! We rewinded it. Like my roommates and I were just like, that was insane.
Yeah.
Like, what just happened? And then Kawhi, obviously carries the Clippers. Paul George, when he gets back, that team is going to be incredibly different.
Very good.
But you get Montrezl Harrell, you get Patrick Beverly, you get Lou Will.
Montrezl Harrell had 17 points last night too. That kid stinks on offense. He's terrible.
Patrick Beverly's always going to be in your face. He is like the other team's Marcus Smart. Like you hate
him
literally
is.
You're any
he
other
literally
team.
is.
But you love the best teammate ever.
I love Harrell because he reminds me of a poor man's Ben Wallace. Like he's not going to do anything offensively, but he's going to get rebounds. He's going to get
17 last
points.
night.
Yeah, off putbacks mostly. I bet.
Yeah.
I want to see how many offensive rebounds he had, or at least just like second chance shots. He's a scrapper that. Remember Tristan Thompson, like back in the day when he was on the
prime,
like how he would always just get
pre-Kardashian.
The game the Kardashian era of Tristan Thompson, like the peak of his career, get like 20 rebounds a game. He would scrap, he would do all this stuff, and they broke with Kardashians, like whatever. But he reminds me of an early Tristan Thompson, except better.
I can definitely see that too. But this Clippers team is crazy good defensively. I've actually never seen a roster this built to win. Because they're good offensively, they're amazing, elite.
And they're deep, yeah. My bone to pick is that they're so good at defense. I took the over last night, and I was 10 points down, and with 2 minutes left in the game, they had a 55-second possession that really iced the game. No points scored. They just threw up 3 bricks, got the offensive rebound both times, and really sunk me for hitting my over. I was pissed.
Got you in the gut with that one.
I'm taking the under with the Clippers the rest of the way. They're good on defense.
Wait till PG comes back, then figure it out.
Oh, no, never take the overs in NBA opening night. Everyone's going to be trying to do the most to get the first viral play. Nobody's hitting shots in case you couldn't see the Celtics. I hammer the unders. All right, so, Brandon, I think you DM'd this to me earlier today from the Hooker IC. I think he's like a Boston sports page. When TB12 gets a statue outside Gillette, what should it be? So I'm thinking, like, what is the statue going to be of?
It's got to be one of his iconic moments. That's what I'm thinking of.
I'm thinking it's just him throwing a football.
I'm thinking it's the hands on the head one when he won the Super Bowl in 2001, where he's shaking his head at his sisters in the crowd.
Yeah.
Backwards hat. Might be that.
My thing is, I don't think it's hard to imagine because you look at Tom Brady's career and it is bottomless. There are so many things to choose from the Super Bowl wins, from just iconic moments, from his screaming, that kind of thing.
Kissing his kid. Walking into Gillette, seeing.
I feel like the favorites for what a Brady statue would look like are one of the Super Bowl wins, whether he's holding his kid, whether he's holding his head, whether he's hoisting a Lombardi.
I don't think it'll be his kid. I don't think it'll be.
No shot's gonna be kissing his kid.
No kid.
My sleeper pick. This was the year the Patriots won the Super Bowl in 2016. It was following the 4-game suspension when he had the comeback game versus Cleveland, and he ran for a first down. And remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
that's what I would want a statue to see of Tom Brady. That's not a Super Bowl.
This was in the graphic, the exact picture you're talking about.
That one, yeah. That's what I was saying, yeah.
Oh, who knows? I think they should put it. Where they should put it is right next to like the pro shop and like that $4,000 like 4,000 step staircase.
Well, where like the little patch of
grass. That little I was gonna say that little dive in the grass. Yeah. Plop that right in the. Who cares about the reps? Like.
Yeah.
Or what about when the Super Bowl 51 yell was good when he first gets his hands on Lombardi number 5?
Where it's like this,
and he is screaming at the top of his lungs. He's like, he looks pissed that he's yelling. Like he's full on yell and then goes straight to like the Tom Brady smile.
Yeah. Did you see that commercial that he was in for Under Armour? Where he walked into the store and the kids are talking about excellence and how it's only going to last so long, and he clowns to flake it, and it was literally the funniest commercial.
I think that was one of the Foot Locker ones.
Foot Locker, not Under Armour.
The week of excellence or week of greatness.
Just because something's great doesn't mean we're cheating.
Yeah.
All right, time to talk some baseball. Nationals are our team of destiny.
We are a Nats stan over at MLB Hot Corner. We have been back in the Nats ever since the Baby Shark thing started happening. Gerardo Parra coming over from the San Francisco Giants has really just changed the culture. Bryce Harper's departure, we thought would have impacted the Nationals more. Gerardo Parra, easily the most important trade that the Nationals made all year, bringing him in from the Giants and changing his walk-up song because he wasn't successful with his whatever it was prior. But his kid said that he should use the Baby Shark, and it became the Nationals' identity. And they're really riding that wave all the way to the freaking World Series. And I think the funniest part about it is that the freaking Spike King, Babs took the Nationals in our pick for the World Series. That is unreal. This guy is just picking championships left and right.
Yeah, I mean, I stand behind the Nationals, too. They're up 2 games. They had 6 runs in the 7th alone, which was kind of crazy. It was a tie game up to that point. Honestly, I think it's not even a prayer for the Astros. I really don't. I think they used all their momentum.
The Astros got to the World Series. They're one of those teams they're a great franchise. They're a great team top to bottom. They're just in the wrong place at the wrong time against the hottest team in baseball, who have had the best record over the last 3 months of the season, and come into October with they're smelling blood in the water already. World Series, up 2-0, going home. It would take a miracle, honestly, at this point. Even though both teams are so good and anything can happen at any given moment, especially with the Astros, it's really hard to see this series going back to Houston for Game 6. Just understanding that the Nationals are at home in front of a hungry crowd that's never seen a World Series game, never seen an NLCS game up to this year, is they are starving for win, especially after look back at the last few years of Washington sports. You look at the Capitals and what they.
I was about to say the Capitals. It's kind of like destiny at this point.
There's been a lot of these teams in recent sports memory that have never won a championship and are on the cusp of doing it in the span of these last 3 years. You look at Boston's
the Cubs successful. A few years ago too.
Yeah, you look at the Cubs winning the World Series a few years ago. You look at the St. Louis Blues breaking our hearts last year. You look
I'm not over it still. We can't talk about that part.
Washington Capitals winning it all the year before. Who else? The Philadelphia Eagles winning their first championship.
We're on the wrong side of a lot of these, aren't we?
Yeah. The Nationals definitely feel like one of these teams that is bound to make history this week, winning their first World Series ever and doing it in front of their home crowd. Nonetheless, they look very poised to do that with Anibal Sanchez on the mound tomorrow night and then Patrick Corbin the night after. They're looking to make this series short and finish it in 4 games.
Couldn't agree more.
And the Baby Shark smells blood in the water.
How mad is Bryce Harper right now?
Oh, he's butthurt. He's butthurt, but he's butthurt with his millions, though.
Yeah.
He's sitting on his mansion watching the games, counting his money.
He's out in Las Vegas watching this series. Definitely you got to be happy for your guys. Like, those are the guys that he really grew up with. He's been in the system for so long.
He was with Strasburg since they were like 18.
Honestly, these guys have been together for the longest time, and as much regret as he may feel, I'm not even sure if that's the right word to use in this situation, especially since he got his check, he got the bag he was chasing. Just this pure baseball player, pure baseball move, not even pure baseball, pure money move to a division rival in the Philadelphia Phillies. But he's got to be proud of his guys. He came out with a statement this week because people were definitely asking him, like, how would you have changed this team? Is this something you guys want to do? And it's like, no doubt this is something Bryce Harper wanted to do while he was in D.C. That even transferred into his press conference as soon as he left D.C. As soon as he signed with Philly, he said he's still going to bring a title to D.C. And lo and behold, it looks like that may happen by the end of next week.
All right, let's wrap this up with some DMs real quick. I don't think we got that many. Should have pulled this up earlier, but whatever. All right, here we go. No, we actually got 4. Carter _Williams _fan. Is Josh Gordon done with the Pats? Yes.
I hope not, but he's done.
Yeah. It's tough. It's a tough break to see. I think everyone's fallen in love with Josh Gordon, just hoping that he's been able to get on the right track. And since he was finally clean this year, now the problem is that he's not healthy this year. Following that could have been so much worse. The gruesome knee injury that happened on Thursday Night Football and looked like he might have been done for the season at that point. But yeah, it is a tough sight to see Josh Gordon go.
It never worked out. Every time we try to focal point him in the offense, he was always covered. He wasn't fast enough, and every time we didn't use him, he would be open. And it was a balance of using him versus not using him. And McDaniels never found that sweet spot with him, and it's a tragic thing to see because he was productive when he got his touches.
We just received the worst question I think we've ever gotten this entire show, and maybe me doing any show ever. But no, listen, I've been in the game for a while. This is the worst one I've ever seen in my life.
Worst question.
Jared_Carlson. I don't know you, but you're a moron. Tom Brady is leaving the Patriots. His house and his agent's house are on the market. End of TB12 era. This was in the summer, you idiot. They were talking about this in the summer. Man. He's still here. He has a house in Brookline. He also has massive houses in the suburbs in New Jersey. He always says, I live in New Jersey. I live in the suburbs, like right outside New York City, close enough to Foxborough for like my off-season house. Yeah, the TB12 era. He's 49,000 years old. It'll end soon. It's not right now. You brought up a story that we're talking about over the summer. He's not staying. Guerrero's staying. His agent's staying. Belichick's staying. They're all going to stay. So I don't know why you had to you sat down and typed this out, and the entire time you think of, hey, this is probably the worst thing I could have ever asked. You're on a 1-episode suspension.
If you can honestly look me in the eye and tell me that Tom Brady would play for another team in the NFL after 19 years in New England, you are a moron. You are a clown for even thinking something like this. This is something that Robert Kraft, you look a few years ago, the Jimmy Garoppolo situation, where it looked like Jimmy G was going to be the guy that would eventually replace Tom Brady. Lo and behold, Tom Brady shipped him out. Robert Kraft shipped him out. Tom Brady's going to be the guy in New England for the rest of his life, and there would be nothing to tarnish that fact. He will not put on another uniform for another team. It's either that or retirement.
Or death.
And people always just try to find things to tear him down. I remember even back, oh my God, it has to be close to 6 years ago, where they're like, Ryan Mallett's the guy. He's pushing Tom Brady out. It's like, are you kidding?
Out of Arkansas.
Stop it.
All right, Steve Dizzy, 23. What's the story behind the scenes about GRD getting kicked out? I mean, I said it every single show. GRD never showed up. GRD didn't want to do this. I like GRD. I like him a lot. Like, I consider us like friends. He'll be back, I'm sure. Like, he'll come back on here and there. He's just doing a lot, so he couldn't commit to it. That's fine. We got Brandon here who's doing, some would argue, a better job than GRD did. But hey, like, he's busy with his own thing. He already knows where we all stand. Like, we're all fine. Nothing exciting behind the scenes news about that. He just didn't show up. Too busy for it. I get it. It happens. We move on. This is Jeff Miller with the, I mean, if you're going to have the name Miller, spell it right, dude. Millre. As someone who also has the last name Miller, I do not claim him as a Miller. Do you think we're overpaying Brown? Also, what position do you think needs the most work? We already talked about the overpayment part. Don't need to touch on that again. What position needs the most work? Just a big guy. I mean,
the center position is going to be tough for the.
Like, losing Aaron Baines was necessary, but you need something like that.
And Taco Fall will continue to develop. Who's the French guy you guys were talking about earlier?
Poirier,
he'll continue to develop. He'll get some minutes in this week.
Once Taco Fall can start seeing straight again, he'll be
back. For knocking his head on a slow ceiling. That's crazy.
Yeah, look at you. That ceiling will get you. No, but Robert Williams is going to take a big step, I think, this year. He's poised to. He showed the potential last year and showed it last night. Like Tyler was saying, he had some impressive moments, some impressive blocks. And I think he's going to show out this season for the Celtics.
It seemed like every play seemed to try to drive and then draw two defenders and just lob it.
Toss it up.
Why not?
His wingspan's massive. And he's only 6'10", too, but his wingspan's way bigger.
He's got a 7'1", 7'2".
Yeah, 7'2" wingspan. He could walk on his hands if he wanted to. All right. Do you have anything else we want to talk about before we dip? All right, nothing. So I hope everyone has a good night other than Jared Carlson for the worst question that we've ever received as a show. Like, I might frame that somewhere. We'll have to remember that.
I'm going to have to run it back and make my picks. I'll write down my picks.
I was about to
snap
say.
a picture.
Yeah.
Run it back, grab your guys', so make sure we on top of this.
All right, sounds good.
We're
going to need evidence that you did it today.
I'll write them down.
They're over and you miraculously go.
Go 14-0 somehow crazy next week.
Wow. We don't need to talk about this anymore. Go to next week. All right. Thanks for listening to Boston's Big Three. episode 18 if you got to this point. A lot of technical issues, not a lot of Babs, thankfully. But we'll see you guys next week with Babs, with Brandon, maybe a special guest. Only time will tell. Like I said, everyone have a good night except Jared Carlson.